From the very beginning of Alien Earth, one thing has stood out above all the violence, gore, and chaos: the Xenomorph should not be capable of trust. It is a perfect organism, a killing machine designed by nature and honed by evolution to destroy, consume, and propagate. And yet, against all logic, it hesitates when standing before Wendy. It follows her lead. It listens when others would be torn apart. Why? To answer that, we have to strip away the surface horror and dig deep into what makes both Wendy and the Xenomorph different from everyone else in this universe. Because the truth is, their bond isn't just strange, it's the central mystery of Alien Earth, and possibly the key to where this show is going. First, let's consider Wendy herself. She is not fully human, but she isn't simply a hybrid experiment either. Her origin, the transplantation of Marcy Hermit's consciousness into a synthetic hybrid body, created something unique. Unlike Nibs, who is fractured and unstable, Wendy's childlike mind brings with it innocence, imagination, and above all else, empathy. That empathy is her defining trait. Where others see monsters, Wendy sees creatures. Where others see death, she sees life. This is the first crack in the wall that allows something impossible: communication. But why would the Xenomorph, a creature engineered to view everything as prey, respond to her? The answer may lie in what the franchise has teased since Alien's: Xenomorphs don't just attack mindlessly. They are hive-based, operating on instinct and psychic resonance like insects connected to a central queen. They understand dominance, submission, and above all else, intent. When Wendy approaches, she doesn't radiate fear or aggression. Instead, she radiates a kind of kinship. To the Xenomorph, Wendy is not prey. She is something other, something on the threshold of becoming a hive mind equal. The series has given us small but powerful clues. The first moment Wendy speaks in chittering tones sounds eerily close to the alien's own. The Xenomorph does not lash out. It tilts its head, studies her, and waits. That hesitation is everything. In predator-prey dynamics, hesitation is deadly. And yet here the hesitation signals recognition. The Xenomorph knows on some instinctual level that Wendy is different from the humans who only scream and fire bullets. She is worth listening to. And this is where the psychic bond begins. It's not that Wendy controls the Xenomorph, it's that she reframes their relationship. She speaks with intent, and the alien, for the first time in its life, finds something familiar in that. A kind of unspoken language built not on words, but on resonance. And when Wendy tells it to hide, to wait, to follow, the Xenomorph obeys not because it is commanded, but because it chooses to. And that choice.
That's terrifying.
Because it suggests that for the first time, the perfect organism might not just be an animal. It might be learning trust. If part 1 gave us the foundation of the bond, part 2 forces us to look at what this actually means for both Wendy and the Xenomorph. Because make no mistake, their connection isn't just a curiosity, it's a seismic shift in the entire alien mythos. Think about what the Queen represents. In every version of the franchise before Alien Earth, the Queen was the brain, the will, the hive's central intelligence. She doesn't just rule, she defines the Xenomorph's purpose. But in this show, something different is happening. Wendy's empathy doesn't just echo the Queen's control, it replaces it in a subtle way. When Wendy chirps and chitters, she's not barking orders, she's sending intent. And the alien listens because in her mind, there's no distinction between predator and prey. To Wendy, the Xenomorphs are simply lost children, like her. Now here's the danger. If Wendy can form a psychic resonance with one Xenomorph, what happens if she encounters a hive? Does she accidentally become a proxy queen? And if so, whose side would she even be on? Humanity's? The aliens? Or something else entirely? That's the ticking time bomb buried inside this relationship. And yet, this bond also explains why the Xenomorph trusts her more than anyone. Humans, when facing the creature, radiate violence. Guns, fire, terror, all signals of prey struggling to fight back. But Wendy radiates connection. She doesn't see herself as above the alien. She sees herself as alongside it. That distinction is crucial because in the natural order of things, the Xenomorph respects strength and recognition of its role. Wendy gives it both. We even saw this contrast in episode 7's ending. Joe shoots Nibs to save lives, and in doing so reinforces the human instinct survival through violence. Wendy, on the other hand, screams in rage not because she denies Joe's logic, but because emotionally she feels the fracture of trust. The alien, watching silently from the woods, doesn't side with Joe, it waits with Wendy. That moment tells us everything. The Xenomorph recognizes Wendy's emotional state and aligns with it. The bond is no longer just functional, it's sympathetic, and that's what makes it so terrifying. If the alien begins to trust, begins to mirror, begins to resonate with Wendy's emotions, then it's no longer operating purely on instinct. It's evolving, and that evolution is being taught by Wendy herself. But here's the chilling question, is Wendy shaping the alien, or is the alien shaping Wendy? Here's where things get dangerous, because a bond like this doesn't stay one-sided forever. If Wendy is shaping the alien's behavior, then the alien is also shaping her. That's the haunting truth hiding under every chirp and every glance. And if you think that's exaggeration, remember, in this universe, bonds are symbiotic. You don't open a channel to a creature like a Xenomorph and walk away untouched. The first red flag, Wendy's growing detachment from humanity. Early on, she wanted nothing more than to be close to her brother Joe. Her every decision even evolved around his safety. But with every encounter she has with the alien, notice how the scales tip. She justifies its existence. She excuses its violence. And by episode 7, when Joe kills Nibs to save lives, Wendy doesn't see her brother's humanity. She sees betrayal. And standing quietly in the trees, the alien agrees with her. That's not just a sister's grief. That's alien logic whispering in her head. That's the Bond rewiring her loyalties. Which raises the real, forbidden knowledge. Question: what if Wendy is no longer just talking to the alien? What if she's beginning to think like one? And if so, how far does that go? Could she start to adopt hive mentality? Could she see Joe, humanity, maybe even herself as expendable in the way the Queen sees her drones? Imagine Wendy, with her childlike innocence still intact, whispering to an alien brood not as their prey but as their guide. That isn't just unsettling, it's a brand new kind of horror. Here's where it gets even wilder. Boy Cavalier thinks he's manipulating Wendy, using her bond to control the Xenomorphs. But what if it's the other way around? What if Wendy, under the alien's influence, begins using him? Think about it. A little girl's compassion weaponized by the most perfect predator in existence. That's not science fiction anymore. That's a nightmare breeding in real time. And the finale looms with this exact tension. Joe represents humanity, flawed but still clinging to morality. Wendy represents something new, a bridge between species, but one that's cracking under the weight of emotional manipulation. The alien, it represents inevitability, adaptation, survival, evolution. Put all three on a collision course, and the outcome isn't just family drama, it's a test of what future the Alien franchise itself wants to commit to. So let me throw this back to you. If Wendy really is becoming more alien than human, do you think she survives the finale? Or is her fate to either ascend as the first human queen, or be consumed by the very hive she thinks she understands? Because make no mistake, if the alien trusts Wendy more than anyone, it's not out of kindness, it's strategy. And in the alien universe, strategy always ends in blood.